Hello, my name is Hans George Campbell. Tonight I thought I'd show you guys how to set up a dedicated SSD for use with the PlayStation 2 emulator. Alright, here I am on my Windows 10 computer, and the first thing you want to do after you format your brand new SSD for use with the PlayStation 2 emulator, you want to make sure you name the drive PlayStation 2, like I did. I mean, you don't have to, but that's what I recommend that you name your drive. This way you know that that is your dedicated SSD for your PlayStation 2 emulation. Click on the drive one time, and you want to make two folders. The first folder is going to be called PlayStation 2 BIOS. Okay? And the second folder that you want to create, you want to call it or name it PlayStation 2 games. This is where you're going to be placing the ISOs, or copying the ISOs over, the disk images, to that folder. Okay, so after you get these done, I'll go over to my drive. Now you will have your files in different locations. Okay, so let me see. PlayStation 2 case R, PlayStation 2 emulation, the PS2 BIOS. What the heck is that? Oh, that's the actual emulator. Okay, that's the actual emulator. Okay, we don't want that. We want these files here. And we copy these files, okay, to the PlayStation 2 BIOS folder. Okay, there's what, 14 files? Make sure that they're in there. Okay. All right, the next thing we want to do, go into Drive C, and let's see. Another reason why you want to do this, because your PlayStation 2 ISOs, they take up a huge amount of space. And you want to keep, if you're using an SSD for your main Windows drive, you want to keep it half empty if you want that drive to last a long time. Never fill it up past 50%. And mine's filled up past 50%. If you look at my main drive here, we go to Properties, okay, it's, okay, it's got about 2/3 of the drive full, and a lot of that is because of these PlayStation 2 ISOs. So let's check this folder, see how much space that's taking up. And as you can see, it's taking up over 63 gigabytes of space. I need to free up my main Windows hard drive so that it drops it down below 50% again, or around 50%. Okay, so that's another reason why you want to have a dedicated SSD just for your PlayStation 2 emulation. Alright, so these are the games that I have. They should fit. Okay, they should all fit. Okay. Let's see. Let me take these, copy it over to PlayStation 2 games. It should go pretty quick because it's going from SSD to SSD. So it should go pretty fast. All right. Okay, I finished copying the games over. So now I can delete all of these because now they're all sitting on my dedicated PlayStation 2 SSD. That's the PlayStation 2 BIOS. And these are the PlayStation 2 games. Okay, so now we also need to copy over the PlayStation 2 case art. Okay. There's a bunch of them here. There's like, I don't know, over 2,000, well, it's 2,608 items. All kinds of case art right here. Anyway, for just about, well, quite a few of the PlayStation 2 games. So what I'll do, PlayStation 2 cases art. So we'll grab that whole folder and we'll copy it over to our PlayStation 2, our dedicated PlayStation 2 SSD. Okay, so we'll have all the artwork for the game cases. All right, let's make sure. Okay, this is, okay. The PlayStation 2, yeah. Here's the artwork. Looking good. And you can download these. There's several places on the internet where you can download these. Imagine having all of those games in your PlayStation 2 library. I mean, oh my God. Well, now that the PlayStation 2 emulator works so well, there's no reason to have the actual hardware anymore. I mean, yeah, the games, yes, because the emulator, you can load the games either from your hard drive, or you can actually load the games, like if you put the PlayStation 2 disc into your DVD drive, if you have a DVD drive installed in your computer, it will read the game from that disc and play it from the actual PS2 disc. So you could do it that way too. But if you have the ISOs to all your games and you have them backed up, right, there's no need to keep the hardware, or the games for that matter. You may want to hang on to the manuals, to the games, but other than that, yeah, there's no reason to have the actual hardware because the emulator works so well. And because of this, I predict that the value of PlayStation 2 video gaming consoles, as well as the games, is going to do a nosedive right into the crapper. Soon, they're not going to be worth anything. Like, for instance, the Super Nintendo, consoles and games, they're not worth anything because the Super Nintendo emulator works so well, you no longer need the hardware or the games. You can download the games all over the internet. Okay, so we got all that done. Now I'm going to go back to my SSD. My main, my Windows SSD, and I'm going to delete all of this. Well, I'm not going to delete the PS2 emulation. Keep that in there. Actually, go ahead and delete. Okay, PlayStation 2 case art, so we're going to delete that. Okay. PlayStation 2 ISOs, we're going to delete that, because I already have them backed up on a separate hard drive. And then under PlayStation 2 emulation, we're going to delete the BIOS, because we can tell it to go to the other drive. So delete that folder. All right. So let's see how much hard drive space that filled up. Well, not nearly as much, but it's a lot better than what it was. So I'm going to have to go in here one of these days and do some spring cleaning on my Windows SSD, because you don't want this to your Windows SSD, or any SSD for that matter, to be more than 50% full. The only exception to this rule is if you're only going to be reading from the SSD. You're not going to be constantly writing to it like you would in a Windows environment. Okay? So on this drive here, the PlayStation 2 SSD, once these are all set up on this drive, like they are here, you're never going to write to the drive again. You're just going to be reading from it. And when you're reading from an SSD, that drive will last for a very long time, because it's the writing that actually causes an SSD to eventually fail, not the reading. It's the writing part. And all SSDs have a limited number of writes. And once you reach that limit, that SSD will start failing. But if you set up an SSD like this, where you're just going to be reading from it, okay, that SSD should last for a few decades. It should last a very long time. Okay. Okay, so what am I doing? No, I don't want to file share. No, don't want to file share. The heck are you doing? Okay. So now that we have that set up, we have our dedicated PlayStation 2 SSD set up. Next, we're going to load up the PlayStation 2 emulator and point the emulator to those folders on that separate SSD. That's what we're going to do next. All right. Here we are in the PlayStation 2 emulator, PCSX2. Okay. We want to go to our settings. We want to tell the emulator where the BIOS ROM files are being stored. So we want to click Browse. Go to our PlayStation 2 SSD. Okay, PlayStation 2 BIOS. And then select that folder. Alright? And of course, we want, the United States one. Alright. The game list. Okay. We want to tell the emulator where our games are. So okay. Remove that one. Okay. Well, let me just add one. I'll just add. Okay, we're here. Now we want to go. Well, it's going to be PlayStation 2 games. So select that folder. Well, yeah, go ahead and do that. Okay, so there's the games. That worked out pretty good. Okay, so now we also want to select where the graphics are. Okay, no, we don't want that. I think it'd be under folders. Sheets directory, covers directory. Okay, so we want to browse. And again, go to our dedicated PlayStation 2 SSD. Okay, select folder. All right. Okay, so let's see. I'm trying to think. Okay, tools. No, we don't want that. There should be a way to do all of these. Should we, set cover, image. Yeah, there should be a way to do all of these at once. I don't know why. I don't think we should have to do them one at a time. Like here's Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance. We'll do that one. What? This one here? Set cover image. It should be Baldur's Gate. Where's it at? Oh, okay. It's the US one. It's going to be that one. What in... Oh, exists. Do you wish to replace it? No. Okay. There's got to be a way... Okay. Cover downloader. Let me see if this will work. Well, shoot. That's if you're downloading it from the internet. There should be a way that you can tell it. Okay, D:... I guess it's that. No. D:... Let me try this. What was it? Let me check. Just make sure. Yeah. PlayStation 2 cases art. Okay, cases art. So I'll make sure. Cases art. And start. Oh, wow. So you can do it that way. Alrighty. Okay, I knew there had to be an easy way to do this. Yeah, that looks really good. Okay, so those are the games I have installed on that SSD so far. I got a lot more games than this. But yeah, that's how you do it. You can adjust the slider here, to make it as small as you want or as large as you want. You can make them like that big if you want. See? I usually like to have them like 8 across, like that. That's usually how I like to have them. I can see them pretty good. But yeah, so that is how you set up a dedicated SSD, a PlayStation 2 SSD for use with the PC SX2 emulator, the PlayStation 2 emulator. That's it for this video. My name is Hans George Campbell, and until next time.